Welcome, guys, back to the I Love Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, as always, Justin Woolwine. Today, we are welcome with the majority owner of IPW, Mr. Justin Summers. How we doing?
Hey, doing good, man. Great name.
I know it's rare I get another Justin on the podcast. Thank you for having such a great name. I'm glad we can share it.
I'll tell you,
We're in
man.
good company.
It's never let me down the whole time I've had it. So
No, no, other than the Justin Bieber jokes, but we get over those.
yeah, being a Canadian, we get it a little more with the Justin Bieber stuff
I
up here. So
I bet you do. I bet you do.
yeah,
Before we dive into, how you got into the wrestling scene, how you became, a majority owner of IPW, things like that. Would you like to shout out IPW? Let us know where we can find all the social medias, updates, all that fun stuff.
yeah, 100%. Especially for anybody who's looking to carry along with our storylines we're doing, I highly encourage you to follow our social medias. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Reddit, we're on YouTube, and it's all at Island Pro Wrestling.
Okay. Um, Somewhere I always like to start on the podcast. It's fun, it's easy, and we all have a story of when we became a fan of professional wrestling, especially
Mhm.
as fans. So when did you find professional wrestling, and what about this crazy sport made you fall in love with it?
Oh man, I definitely remember being a young kid. I'm not sure exactly what age, but I seen The Undertaker. I think it was at WrestleMania 3, maybe, whenever he was there. I'm not sure, but he still had the orange gloves on at the time. And immediately when I seen him, and I was like, "Ooh, The Undertaker!" Like how eerie and like kind of like mysterious, and then there was all the high action impact wrestling that came along with it. I was hooked. I mean, being a young kid, the only thing I wanted to do was give my brother a suplex. So uh, it was fun and right from an early age. And then I as I grew up, I stayed fluent with the wrestling scene through the Attitude Era. You know, getting detention at school for doing the Degeneration X stuff. Like it. It just kind of always stuck around, and then took a break from it for a little while, and then in probably the last 4 or 5 years, got back into wrestling all over again, and it's just so exciting.
Who were some of your favorites growing up? Like, who'd you pay the most attention to?
Undertaker, Kane, Mankind. I like Sting. Like kind of all those like darker
Okay.
characters that you would see. Whenever Kane made his appearance, I was just like, "Oh my God, the ring just shot fire out of it!" Like I was over the moon.
Okay, so what was it, the darker characters that captivated you, or was it like the stories and the things, the symbolism that went behind them?
I'd say a lot of it was with the introduction to Kane, like that whole
Okay.
build up of that storyline of Paul Bearer saying, the house burnt down and your brother Kane's there, like just all those little things that it just kept me interested in that story. I don't know if it was like the darkness of it that kind of captivated me, or if it was just the actual storytelling and how they were portraying it on camera too, with all these little vignettes that they were sending out and promos and stuff like. But I mean, it wasn't just that. Like I loved Shawn Michaels growing up too, Heartbreak Kids, it was always Mr. WrestleMania. So like it was always high impact for me. And just like being a high energetic kid, I was like, yeah, like Suplex City, let's do it.
Was it ever in the cards for you or in the dreams for you to maybe try to wrestle?
Not really. I've always really had a passion for the like production side of it. Like whenever there
Okay.
was like those video games SmackDown versus Raw. Like when I started playing SmackDown versus Raw, I don't know how much time I spent on my entrances, building entrances for your character and like having
Yep.
the lights and the, just everything that goes along with that. That's always really interested me.
So, like, was you like ever, or when was you introduced to like independent wrestling?
Actually, it was in my later years that I was introduced into independent wrestling. Being from Prince Edward Island in Canada here, we're a super small area on the east coast of Canada. We don't get a lot of big market items that come through here. Like Raw doesn't come through here, SmackDown doesn't come through here. They're kind of stick with like Montreal, and like for me to get to Montreal is probably an 18-hour drive. So it it takes a lot of investment to go and participate in those big shows. So I got into indie wrestling probably about 4 years ago. Actually, it was this company, Island Pro Wrestling, that I attended one of their shows, and I was like, "This is fun." Like, I'm happy to see that this is taking place on our island, and like, it was showcasing like a good community. There was a lot of people turning out for like a common theme of wrestling and having a good time. I grew up a lot in the music industry, touring bands and like heavy metal and stuff like that. So there was always that like show feeling that I always loved. And I kind of got a sense of that when I took in my first indie show here. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a great community coming together to bond over wrestling. So
Yeah. Was you doing work with the bands, or was you just a heavy like attendee of the events?
I was actually promoting the events. So
Okay.
I've done over 300 concerts in my time so far. Doing everything from band management to booking tours and promoting shows and putting shows on here in Prince Edward Island and abroad. So it's just kind of always been something I've been into is the production and booking and stuff like that. So there is a lot of transferable traits from that kind of reflect in wrestling as well. You're booking talent, you're setting up a venue, you're getting the word out. So uh, I've always just kind of had like a passion for promotion, I guess.
How did you get your foot in the door to start promoting events?
Honest to God, I was playing drums in my very first band, and nobody wanted to book a no-name band, so I was like, "Hell, I'm gonna book it myself." And I put on a concert and let all our friends know. And just after that, it was a successful event, and we said, "Okay, let's do another one," and then let's do another one, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Okay. What's kind of some of the things you've been able to learn as a promoter that might help some other guys or girls who are wanting to try to do the same? Um,
I mean, really, at the end of the day, don't knock what works. Like going out and hitting the town with posters, making sure to just talk about your event, make sure to talk to different people, and just kind of spread the awareness of it all. It's just doing those guerrilla promotion styles of going to the local venue and calling in the radio station. Just every little bit of promotion that you can do, right?
mhm. Definitely.
It's
I
it's
mean,
tri- it's tried and true for a reason.
as a podcaster, it's something I've learned. It's something I've been fortunate. Like my dad's a big supporter of the podcast, and he's even gone out on foot with my siblings and passed out flyers for our podcast.
Nice.
Or put them on. Raw comes to the Allstate Arena here in Chicago. It's a 45-minute drive. Why not drive down
Yeah,
there, pay for the parking lot,
yeah,
things like that.
that's a
So
commitment. Yeah.
it's tried and true, and it works. I mean, I've it's also one of those things with promoting. Have you noticed maybe those more old school things have become more frowned upon? Because I know, like when we were in uh, the Allstate, I had there was a couple people that didn't like it or was like, "Hey, this is not how we do this," because we have social media and things like that now. Do you think that those old school ways are still effective,
It really
or
depends on like the market you're trying to reach, really. Like if you're trying to reach that younger market, yes, they're more in tune to the social media aspect of it. If you're trying to reach an older demographic where, they're going to the grocery store and they're going to see that poster or whatever it be, that still works, but you can't always count out the old school ways because it's worked and it's been tried and tested and true. So I mean, we kind of do a mix with Island Pro Wrestling. We do the poster runs, we do the radio advertisements, and then we do social media as well, right? We want to spread the word. That's our whole job as a promotion is to make sure that eyes are looking. We're bringing in talents. We're going to set up a grand stage for them. They're going to perform to the best of their abilities, and we're going to make sure that as many people know about that as possible.
so when you went to the Island Pro Wrestling show, 4 years ago or what have you? did you know at that point, hey, maybe I want to try to get in the door here, or maybe I want to try to work with these guys?
Absolutely not. I went there with my children. We went and had a very good time. But there's still like a piece of me that was like, oh, well, if I was running things here today, like I would change the house lights here, or I would do something different. But that's just kind of me in general. I'm just always trying to make things bigger and better. And I offered some of that insight to the previous owner too, which I mean, it may have fell on deaf ears, but it's always something that I want to do is make like a good positive critique on how to make things bigger and better. Um, but after a couple of events, the promoter approached me saying that he was getting out of it and asked if I was interested in it. So I kind of took that home and thought about it and talked to my best buddy Chris. Shout out Chris Frizzle. He's our other majority owner of IM Pro Wrestling. And he was like, "Hell yeah, let's buy a wrestling company and make the best of it with what we can." So we kind of we shopped off some ownership as well. We built a board of directors here. There's 7 of us in total that's run Island Pro Wrestling, and it's been super awesome because everybody has like their niche little skills that they can offer towards the promotion. We have people who've been, through photography school. We have people who are like production oriented people to help us with the production side of things. We got computer systems people, we got editors and stuff. So it's really like a conjoined effort that makes Island Pro Wrestling what it is.
So how long ago did you like actively start taking, I don't want to say take over, but when did you
Well,
start?
that's what we named our first event. Actually, was Island Pro Wrestling Takeover. So,
Okay.
but back in it was January 5th we made the purchase of the company.
Okay.
So we've had it for well about 6 months now. We've done 2 events. We did IPW Takeover back in April, and we just finished our second event, IPW Game On, last Saturday, and that was the introduction to our heavyweight championship tournament.
Okay. And whenever you took over, so to speak, what is that the goal to give a whole new, fresh set of eyes onto IPW, or did you want to uphold that same tradition that maybe the old regime had?
It was a fine balance point on where we wanted to take the promotion. We wanted to take it to a new level. We wanted to offer a higher end production, a higher kind of fan engagement and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, we knew we were buying a promotion that had a foundation of fans already. So we didn't want to just kind of cast all that aside. We did strip the champions of their titles to make it a fresh restart on this new era. But at the same time, we made sure to bring back some familiar faces that were popular with the existing fan base that was there as well. So you don't want to go changing too much of a good thing, but positive change is always good too.
During the old regime, was there a board of directors, or was it just one individual kind of making the shots?
Yeah, it was one individual making the shots.
Do you think bringing in a group of individuals to run a ship like that is easier and maybe more comfortable to making it successful?
Yeah, 100%. I think just having the ability to bounce ideas off different people, get other people's insights on the situation, just even thinking out of the box from more than one viewpoint, it really stimulates the whole group. And then, like I find we do our investor calls every Sunday, and whenever we do an investor call, people start like bouncing ideas off each other. And it's just so wild how we can take maybe a small suggestion and literally write it into the show that day because everybody's got a really good insight on how they want to present something or like maybe this could trigger something else, etc.
So I know you've only done a couple events so far. Right now they're a little spread apart, a couple months. Is
Yeah.
the game plan to keep it that way to where it's every so many months have a show, or do you want to eventually get to where you're doing a monthly or a bi-monthly or something like that?
So we committed in the first year, just with all the new changes that we were implementing, that we would host 4 events.
Okay.
So we've committed to 4 events this year, but since the positive feedback from the first event and now the positive feedback we're getting from the second one, we've decided to increase our show frequency in the following year. hopefully double. We're hopefully doing eight shows next year.
Okay. Um, where can the fans or the people watching this, where can they catch an IPW show?
So we mostly operate out of the Prince Edward Island Brewing Company here. It's a fantastic venue. It gives us the ability to really put some high-end production behind our product. We set the room up. We got four different camera angles. We can have the lighting. We got pyros, smoke geysers, all that sort of stuff that kind of gives that excitement pop for everybody. So that's been a really good home base for us. I'd really like to maintain sticking there, but maybe in next year's schedule we'll probably do, you know, an off show over here, an off show over there. But really, we want to just build that solid home base front and offer a, you know, as close to an as TV ready product as we can be.
Do you guys like stream it anywhere or record
Yeah.
it and put it on any platforms?
Yeah, so like on our last event there last Saturday, we had over 2,300 people join us on our live streams via
Okay.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We're really pushing anybody who can't join us live to join us on Twitch, get involved in the group chat there, etc. As I said before, we really want to showcase the talent in the best way possible. So, what better way to do that than stream it to our online wrestling community and have people like yourself and your friends share the stream and just kind of showcase the brand to other people.
Definitely. Um, so where'd you get the idea to do it on Twitch? Because I haven't seen many other people, especially wrestling companies, do Twitch as a platform to host their shows.
So, back when I was younger than I am now, I invested a couple shares into WWE. And
Okay.
as being a part of being the shareholders, when COVID came around, they had kind of bounced some ideas about how are we going to continue this product with the world being shut down, etc. And they had heavily leaned on moving their whole thing onto Twitch. But as we all know, that never happened because they were able to get the performance facility open up in Florida and they were able to still do network TV from Florida.
Hmm.
But Twitch got set up to onboard WWE. So Twitch is kind of like a good home for wrestling, and the way that they have this hype train thing going on with Twitch. So like once you get so many viewers, it just starts pumping it to a bunch of different viewers. So Twitch really set up to receive that product, and I said, hey, why don't we try and maximize them being set up to have the same type of product?
Okay. What's your experience been like working on Twitch so far?
Twitch has been good so far. We did the first event as just kind of like a proof of concept that we could get through the whole event without the damn thing crashing on us. And then this time around, we added in YouTube and Facebook so people could view it on the streams there as well. Um, that was a lot of lag on the system. So we kind of refined a few things moving forward, but ultimately, like it's been really good. We've gotten a really positive feedback from streaming it online because there's a lot of wrestling fans all around the world that are just really in indie wrestling, or just looking for something to watch. And I like to think that we're putting a lot of production behind our product, and it's a good show to watch.
Definitely. Something I've honestly just recently started doing as far as like podcasting is I've started doing live streams, reacting to whether
Yeah.
it's Raw or other WWE products. I'm about to start doing like Dynamite and stuff like that. But like I'm kind of new to the live aspect of it. Pre-recorded is always just it's easier because
It
you
makes
get
you
to
feel
throw out
more at home, right?
you have a net that
Yeah.
safety net. So like has that been something that maybe could have been scary going into just starting with a live broadcast as preferred to maybe recording it and then editing it later and throwing it out on a DVD or putting it on a digital service?
I've always been a very much no risk, no glory sort of fella.
Okay.
So I like to roll with the punches. Let's be real and let's be raw. Shout out to August Artois, but just release what we have. And if people are going to be happy with it, they're going to be happy with it. If people are going to be unhappy with it, they're going to be unhappy with it. I'm not looking to go and change the narrative of what we're doing to try and capture people's attention. I feel like we have a really good product and people are going to just genuinely want to watch, whether it's edited or not edited. They're gonna enjoy what they're seeing. So I've never been scared about the live stuff because it's just that's real. That's what people in the audience are seeing at that time too, right? So
Yeah.
everybody can share that experience together. That's what I was saying with Twitch. Like when people join and follow on the Twitch stream or the Facebook stream, they're capturing this live. They're also in the room. Uh, they're just not being heard as much as the people
Yeah.
in the room. But I mean, you can get in the chat. You can let us know what you think of the match. Like have a conversation with another like-minded wrestling fan. There's all that sort of stuff to do in the online community as well.
Are you guys getting on there while the stream's happening and interacting with some of the fans or some of the comments?
Yeah, so we set up a Twitch moderator.
Okay.
Shout out to Michael Hoy. He's been doing a great job with that. But he's been taking all of the footage and everything that we're capturing with Housefront Productions and putting it all into the Twitch streams and moderating the chat because I don't know if you know, but an unmoderated chat can get pretty wild
It can get
sometimes.
rough.
So yeah, so we made sure to have a moderator in the chat rooms there now to make sure that there's no bots going on and stuff like that. So, but overall, it's been really engaging. We've had a lot of people lighting the chat box up whenever the show was happening. Like I was blown away with how many people tuned in live. I was hoping for like maybe 1,200 people, and we got over 2,300. So
Almost
that's
doubled.
it literally shot my expectation out of the water. So if anybody's out there that tuned into the Twitch and is watching this right now, thank you guys so much. Like you exceeded my expectation, and I can't wait to set a more lofty goal and blow that out of the water too.
Something I find really interesting about that is like there's a lot of companies now that do stream, whether it's on like an IWTV or a High Spots or Fight or Thriller, I think it's called now, but
Yeah,
you're not getting that fan or that interaction from the company to the fans right away. Like, and so being able to have a moderator on Twitch kind of direct traffic and maybe,
yeah,
conversate with the fan base, that's different. Was that something that you guys talked about and thought, hey, this is
yeah.
different, let's try it?
Definitely, like having a guy in there interacting with the audience is just like having the ring announcer for the live show. So he
Yeah.
kind of just takes that message and kind of amplifies it with the people who are watching in Twitch or Facebook or wherever. I'm always that type of guy too. That the people with the most engagement in the Twitch box or something like that, I'm going to throw them free tickets or I'm going to send them some free swag or something like that because, like even now, we have an IPW street team. You go to our website, islandprowrestling.com, you sign up for the street team. I'm sending you a letter in the mail. I'm going to send you a couple stickers, a couple fridge magnets or something. We just want people to be involved in Island Pro Wrestling and like what we're really trying to do. So anybody who takes the time to sign up to our email list and stuff, like I'll certainly send you a little package in the mail with a bunch of swag.
Okay. Okay. So off air we talked about, you reached out
Mhm.
to get on here to promote, to talk about, Island Pro Wrestling. That's
Yeah.
something like I told you is really interesting to me because I haven't had anybody do that. Like I've had promoters on before, never reach out. Has it been your mission to try to get, it out there to as many people as possible? Because I know you mentioned being on many platforms, literally all over the world.
Yeah.
So what does that mission look like for you?
So that mission to me is just to really meet people like yourself, like-minded wrestling fans. I know the community is bigger than my hometown, right? And with the globalization and the world of the internet, why can't we connect and share good conversation and something that we're both passionate about? So I kind of did take a little solo mission on myself to say, hey, I want to connect and build a better network worldwide, not just in my backyard, but everywhere and I've reached out to people like yourself, some other podcasts, and I just kind of gave them that raw, honest truth. Hey, I bought a promotion back in January. I want to connect with like-minded people. I see you got a good platform. Maybe we could have an honest conversation about wrestling.
Okay. What's the response been like to that? Because a lot of companies nowadays, especially independent wise, they try to stay in their area. Has there been
Mhm.
any pushback for trying to get out of your area and to be bigger than just the island?
I don't mean to sound cocky, but I really don't care. Like at the end of the
Okay,
day, like I'm here to support our talent. I'm here to support our brand and showcase things the best that I possibly can. And if people are upset that I'm trying to do a really good job for the people I've committed to, then they're not the type of people I want to be talking to anyways. We're going to focus on what we do and what we do best. And I think what we do best is offer a very great stage for high-end talent to come in there and showcase their skills, and we're going to try and put it in front of as many eyes as possible.
definitely. I can't agree with you more. As a podcaster, when I first started doing this, which was about 8, 9 months ago, I
Mhm.
was told stay in your lane, stay
No,
in your area, grow a fan
do what's
base.
best for you. Do what's best for you.
100%. Great. Get out there, grow. There's
Yep.
wrestling, like you said, not just in your backyard. It's global. So
It's
like
everywhere.
talk to guys overseas, different countries, different states, different territories, the whole nine, and really expand your brand. It makes the most sense.
I
So
mean,
I
our
agree with that.
Twitch goes and shows it. We had viewership in Malaysia, Japan, Australia, Italy, United Kingdom, like down in America. It was in Mexico City. Like we're seeing all these like demographics and stuff pop up on our insights whenever we take a look at it, and it just astounds me. It's not just like one person in India. It's like 100 people in India, and then there's like
Yep.
4 people in Japan, and there's like 10 people in Australia. So it's cool to see that the I don't know, I guess it's the algorithm. The algorithm is starting to work. I've connected with some like-minded people like yourself. You have a network of people that you talk to, and like it's just like the old telephone game. I tell one friend, he tells another friend, and everybody's telling a friend, and it finally grows like wildfire.
Yep. Yeah. I think that the saying is tell a phone, tell a friend, tell a wrestler.
Yeah,
It works.
exactly.
It
It
works. It
works.
works.
So
um, we've talked about how you got into it, promoting the brand. Let's talk a little bit about the wrestling. What's these first two shows been like for you? What's the goals? Who some of the guys or gals you're trying to highlight? Things like that.
I mean, the first show was it was a little interesting because we were new management of a struggling brand. So there was a bunch of like brand rebuilding, and both fans and talent alike had to kind of take a chance with us. And we had to prove ourselves that we're here, we want to be staying here, we want to do a great job for everybody. So I really took that to heart and made sure that the first show was the fans were leaving saying, I got my money's worth, more than my money's worth, because we want to, the VIP packages that we sold. We sent little lanyards and like event theme merchandise and just like little notes saying thank you for the support. Like doing the little things goes a long way. And on the second show, we continued that and just tried to pump those tires a little more, make sure people felt like they were part of the team, like they were part of the show, like and just constantly doing that will make those people know that we're not just doing this for a payday, because let's be real, you don't get into doing these hobbies for a payday. uh,
Not
so
at all.
at the end of the day, we're happy to break even. We'd love to make some money someday, but we want to put on the best show possible for the talent and the fans. And some of the talents that we've had come in here have been fantastic. Like we had August Artois there from Florida. We had Alex Silva coming down from Montreal. He was original TNA guy. We've had all these wrestlers take a chance on working with us. And now that we're starting to gain some content and we're getting those videos out there showcasing what our production is like, there's more and more talent reaching out. Like, how do we get on your stage? Um, like, I can't wait for more people to know like the household name of the Maritime Luchador Fantana, or Zane Valentine, or Rugged Rick Owens, or whoever it is on our cast. We want to make sure that they're getting into the most eyes possible. So thank you to the talent and the fans alike for taking a risk on us on our first couple of shows, because we're here to do it for you guys.
Definitely, definitely. And something I found really cool is, like you said earlier, you did a reset. You reset all the champions. You're in the middle of the I don't want to say inaugural, but inaugural in the form of the new regime World
Yeah.
Championship tournament. What's that process been like, and maybe what can we expect out of it going into the next show, going into September?
Yeah, so in our first event, when we first bought the company, we stripped both the existing champions for. We have like a mid card belt that's called the Prince Edward Island title, and
Hmm.
then we have the heavyweight championship belt. And at the first event, we had a match with Wesley Pipes versus Zane Valentine for that mid card belt. Zane Valentine ended up winning it. He was actually the previous championship holder as well, so he kind of retains, but not really. It's like a new reign, I guess you would say, in the new era.
Okay.
Um, but then for the heavyweight championship tournament, I thought, we can't just put it on somebody. We want to make it worthwhile. We want to build some notoriety to this belt. The belt's been traveled already in the previous era and defended in other territories, so there is some notoriety to the belt. So I wanted to do the heavyweight championship over the course of a tournament, and we figured we'd do that over two separate events. That way, it's not rushed. You're putting the proper quality, you're putting the proper production into making sure that this belt finds a home and it was earned. So moving forward into September, though, for that's going to be where we crown the heavyweight champion. And it'll be Maritime Luchador Fantana's first title defense as the mid-card belt PEI title holder. So there's a lot going into this next event. We also have legendary no class Bobby Bass coming to confront a gentleman who's been also using the name No Class. So having a historic figure like Bobby Bass here is going to be, I mean, it honors me that he's willing to work with our promotion because he's so over in our area of the world. Like when we were growing up, it wasn't WWE that was being showed on TV here. It was Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. And that was no class Bobby Bass. He was the man back in the day in the 80s and the 90s. Like he's traveled all over. He was in Stampede Wrestling in Calgary. He was in Maple Leaf Pro in Toronto. Like he's a well-traveled seasoned vet. And he was always very well known for his no class attitude. So to have a guy like that come and work with our promotion is fantastic. And he's going to be giving it to the guy Eric Bass, who's been running his mouth as the new no class. So it's kind of cool to see the old generation mixing with the new blood.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
It's always fun. You get a little bit of nostalgia mixed with this new breed.
yeah.
It's always fun. It's always exciting because you get to see. Sometimes you get to see the greatest hits. Other times you might get to see the new guy take down the greatest hits. So it's cool to see things like that.
Like the
It's
possible passing of the torch, the possible shoving it in your face. Like there's just
Yep.
so many different things that could happen that's what makes wrestling so exciting is you never know which way the story is going to pivot.
and it's like that with any. I think, like, for instance, the latest example, if we're talking mainstream, is like the R-Truth scenario.
Yeah.
Like we see R-Truth. For one, we never thought we'd see R-Truth in the main event of a Saturday Night's Main Event in 2025, especially
Right?
against John Cena in his
Yeah.
retirement run. Then a week later, he gets fired, and then a week later, he's back, and he's could be one of the top baby faces in the company if depending on how things roll. So, like, you never know what to expect out of wrestling at
And
all.
that's one thing I found is that even the main guys like WWE and AEW, they still take reality and put a spin on it,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
That's the easiest way to navigate the wrestling storylines is what's happening today and how can we put our flavor on it. Like we want to have wrestling be a storyline with IPW. We want to build some stories. We want to build some characters. But it doesn't matter what we want to write. We're going to see what comes out in the real world with these characters too. If I ask somebody to cut a promo or something like that, they're going to put their own flavor on it. They're not going to read it verbatim, line per line, if I wanted to write it out that way. And I prefer the talent to put their own unique spin on it because they're building characters and they're putting time and effort into building themselves that we want to see what they come up with too.
Definitely. Something about the indie scene that's always very interesting to me is there's multiple different kinds of indies. You have,
Mhm.
your ones that are close to a television product that, like, for instance, like the NWA territories, those are almost as television as you get.
Yep.
Then you get your, someone to call it super indies, like a PWG, where
Hmm.
it's, crazy fast paced all the time. And then you have your death match wrestling, so on and so forth. How would you categorize IPW?
So that's the cool thing about IPW is we have a board of directors and there's different perspectives from everybody. There's people on the board that want to keep old school wrestling. There's people on the board that want to see a death match. So like we kind of fall somewhere in between where we're not showcasing to one certain demographic of people that want to watch a certain style. We have those old school matches. We have like on our last event, there was a guy that went through a door. So I mean, like it's not like there's specific criteria that we're trying to write. Um,
Mhm.
we're just doing what feels natural at the time, given the cast of people that we're working with and the creative output that everybody's kind of juicing together.
Absolutely, absolutely, I love it, because
Yeah,
that's the best. That's the best form of wrestling is when you get
it's a
a
good
pinch of
meld.
everything.
Yeah, it's a good
Exactly.
meld.
You brought up Maple Leaf Pro.
Yep.
They've recently gone through a resurgence, came back, and they're, probably, they. I feel like they've kind of sparked a new interest in the Canadian independent scene. Do you think that'll be something that you, as a fellow promoter inside, Canada, is that something that you can capitalize off of?
I I think so. It's not that I'm looking to capitalize off it. As I said, we're kind of doing our thing and just what
Yeah.
feels natural. But in general, whenever you see a promotion get a resurgence and kind of bring life back to the wrestling community, I think that's a positive overall. The more wrestling events that we're offering to the fans, offering to the talent, offering to the internet, I think it's just a good thing for wrestling community. So having a person like Scott Demore open that back up and give it a new life, I think is fantastic. Like he'll get my support for sure. I'm going to be tuning in and watching what he's doing too. So hopefully it goes off really well because it was a staple back in the day.
It's something, honestly, as a fan, I didn't know existed until the resurgence. So being able to go back and look at it and kind of figure out the history has been something that's fun for me.
Yeah,
Is that like, you guys being the new regime of IPW, is that something maybe you want to try to do as well?
it's like kind of as I said, we're just kind of doing our thing. We're not really
Okay.
worried about what other people are doing, but at the end of the day, like as I said, if there's more engagement between wrestlers and fans and promotions, I think that's a positive net, and we support more wrestling. Um, even I'm not that kind of guy that's like, oh, I'm not going to go support another promotion because I have my own promotion, and it's not a solo thing. The If we all move up, we all move up,
Yeah,
right? So, and it's just better for the fans. It's better for the talent to have more showcases, have the ability to showcase themselves more. It's just a net positive all around.
definitely.
Yeah,
A couple more questions and then I'll let you go.
sure.
One, I've only had, I believe, honestly, you are the second Canadian on my podcast. So
Yay!
I have to ask, what is your Canadian Mount Rushmore?
Our Canadian Mount Rushmore, eh? Um, wow. Chris Jericho, Bret the Hitman Hart, um, Kevin Owens, Yeah, like I would say probably even Owen Hart in there. He was really well too. So I'd say that's the my top four. There's a
Okay.
lot of good Canadian wrestlers to choose from, but I mean mentioning the Harts is pretty heavy there because the Hart Foundation, they got Stampede Wrestling Calgary with the Dungeon and stuff like Stu Hart. The, we have this like Canadian broadcasting commercial that played all the time when I was a child. And it was like a Canadian heritage moment. And like I feel like they should have had the Hart Foundation on there because they were so vital to wrestling in Canada.
Definitely, definitely. I that's honestly the Mount Rushmore question is one of those that I've kind of phased out of the podcast because I mean it's asked everywhere, but every once in a while, whenever I get uh
That's a good
somebody
one
new,
though. Yeah.
like for instance, like asking American guys, you always get the same core people. If you want me to, like, you always get Hulk Hogan or Rock or
Yeah.
Austin. So
Yeah.
like when I get the chance to like talk to somebody from Canada or Australia or the UK or even Mexico, like it's fun to just throw that out there.
Just
And
those different perspectives, right?
yes, and like honestly, your Mount Rushmore for Canada is absolutely amazing.
You
I couldn't disagree with it. One guy maybe I'd have threw in
I
there
was
was
very
Edge.
yeah, I
Edge
was
is the
very
one I was
torn
like,
up with Chris Benoit too. Like
yeah, Benoit makes it hard.
so
That one's
and of course, like growing up, he was a like Canadian icon for a kid that was into wrestling, and then to
mhm.
have it all pan out the way it did, it certainly changes the fellow's perspective. But
Yeah,
at the same time, like I still remember all those matches. Like he was such a good performer. I don't want to give him too much light here because of what happens, but um, if if anything was different, he could have probably made that Rushmore had it not panned out the way it did.
100%. You
Yeah,
know, I always when Benoit comes up, I always like to throw out there that as a kid, he was one of those guys that always made me realize that it's more real than people may
yeah,
believe it is because
yeah.
Benoit was so believable in the ring
hmm
and
Him and
like
Eddie Guerrero, man, some of those.
they would an angle you throw Angle Eddie Kurt in a ring and it's magic.
Yeah,
Yes, all so like Benoit is just one of those guys that I've learned to, I guess, try to appreciate what happened before,
it's hard because of
but it's
the
hard.
whitewashing him out of everything, right? Like
Yes,
the WWE scrubbed him as much as physically possible for good reason.
yes,
But at the
100%.
same time, he was like as I said, a Canadian kid growing up. That was the dude that we were looking up to. Like all the high flying maneuvers and stuff. Like he and him and Eddie, like as we said, it was just magic every time. So it's really hard to turn that off because there's
Yes,
a lot of appreciation for what he gave us, but at the same time, he ruined it all with how everything came out. So
definitely.
yeah,
Uh, One last question, then I'll let you go. I always end with goals. So,
yeah.
what are the goals for IPW, maybe for the rest of this year going into 2026?
So first and foremost, I can't wait to crown a heavyweight champion for IPW. Once we finish this tournament, it's going to be on to a new era too, right? We're kind of through the initial phases of owning the company. We have the
Hmm.
straps on both people. Moving forward, I would love to add a women's division title to our company as well. There's been a very big resurgence of women's wrestling. And it's not just like the sex appeal and the divas like it used to be, it's actual quality wrestling. So
Yes,
we're really happy to have more and more women come and participate in the IPW shows. And then thirdly, I would love to get recognized by WWE ID and have our promotion be a platform where scouts can come and check out up and coming talent. And we offer a really high end production. So I think it's a good chance for the scouts to see kind of what these people would look like on TV before actually getting them there.
I like it. I like it, and I
Yeah,
like as a new regime, as the new owners of this company, this brand, to have goals that are you set the bar high,
yeah,
and so like it's nice to see that because there's a lot of people nowadays that just want to be comfortable. Nice
Mm.
to see somebody that's like, okay, here's the normal bar. Let's try to go, even though we're just starting this, let's go for the top. I
Yep.
love it. It's my goal as well. Like I
That's that
always
no
tell
risk, no
people,
glory, right?
exactly. I get asked often a lot of times, like, what's the goal for myself? Like after I ask this question, and like I don't want to sound cocky at all, but Chris Van Fleet's the goal. I want to be up there in the names with your Conrad Thompsons, Van Fleets, things like that. Because why else would I be doing this?
And honest to God too, man, the people who are giving you a hard time about achieving that aren't the ones to be listening to anyways. You got
100%.
you got rally people like myself cheering you on from the distance to make sure that you're hitting your goals too. Like positivity breeds positivity, and when we all go up, we all go up. So
100%. I amen to
yeah,
that.
amen for sure.
Uh, Before I let you go, I know we did at the beginning, but do you want to shout out just the social medias and when the upcoming events are for IPW, just in case people missed it at the beginning?
Yeah, 100%. Our next event is going to be on September 6th at the PEI Brewing Company here in Charlottetown. As always, we'll be able to have it streaming for anybody who's not able to make it live in attendance. To stay in tune with all the storylines that we're building, follow the social medias. I promise we're putting a lot of work into building good quality story for the fans. So you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, X. It's all at Island Pro Wrestling. And I mean, if you're looking to get tickets to our live event, it's islandprowrestling.com. Would love to see more people in attendance at the shows, and we do it for you guys. We want to see everybody pop off for a good time with wrestling.
Definitely, definitely. I love it. Justin, I want to say thank you first and
No,
foremost coming
Justin,
on
thank
here.
you. Yeah.
If you ever want to come up or come back on, do an update, talk some more IPW, I'd love to have you on for a part two.
Yeah, it
We'll
was
just have to
great
make it work.
conversation, man. It was really good.
Of course. With that said, I'll just leave it at see you next time then.
Okay, thanks again, man, and all the best.